Why are you making this so difficult? They said, their voice sharp, tired, almost annoyed. You stood there, holding your phone, reading that message again and again. Your chest felt tight. Your mind started asking questions you didn't want to answer. Was it really that difficult, or were you just asking for the bare minimum? You didn't reply, not yet, because deep inside something felt wrong, not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet discomfort that had been growing for a long time, and you ignored it again. You remember how it all started, don't you? It felt perfect at first. They noticed you, they chose you, they made you feel important. And for someone who had always felt overlooked, that attention felt like sunlight after a long winter. You adjusted your time for them. You changed your habits, you silenced your own needs just to keep the connection smooth. It didn't feel like sacrifice back then, it felt like love, but slowly something shifted. Messages became shorter, effort became one-sided. You started waiting more, explaining more, forgiving more, and still you stayed. Because you believed if you just tried a little harder, things would go back to how they were. But they didn't. What if the problem is not that they don't understand you, but that you keep abandoning yourself to be understood? That thought scared you. Because if it was true, then it meant you were part of the reason you felt this way. Every time you ignored your discomfort, every time you accepted less than you deserved, every time you stayed silent when something hurt, you were slowly teaching them how to treat you. And more importantly, you were teaching yourself that your feelings didn't matter. That realization hit deeper than anything they ever said. The room felt heavy that night. The faint sound of a ticking clock filled the silence. Your phone screen kept lighting up, then fading again. You didn't pick it up. For the first time, you just sat with yourself. No distractions, no excuses, just truth. You weren't asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person, and that truth didn't bring relief immediately. It brought pain, because now you had a choice to make. Stay where you feel unseen, or walk away and face the fear of being alone. Before this, you were always trying to fix things. You were always trying to prove your worth. But look at you now, sitting in silence, questioning everything. This is the moment where everything begins to change, not outside, inside. Because for the first time, you're not asking, how do I make them stay? You're asking, why am I staying where I'm not valued? And that question changes everything. I just need some space, you finally typed. Your hands trembled slightly, your heart raced. You stared at the message before sending it, because this wasn't just a message. This was a decision, a small one maybe, but powerful. You weren't trying to control them anymore. You were choosing yourself. And that felt unfamiliar, uncomfortable, but also right. Here's the truth no one tells you. Choosing yourself doesn't feel strong at first. It feels lonely. It feels like loss. It feels like you're giving up something you once believed in, but what you're actually doing is creating space. Space for respect, space for peace, space for something real, and most importantly, space for yourself. You don't need someone to complete you. You don't need to shrink to be loved. You don't need to beg for attention, because the moment you start choosing yourself, everything begins to shift. Not instantly, not magically, but slowly. And this is just the beginning of your transformation. You wake up, reach for your phone, and stop. For a second, your fingers hover in the air. No checking messages, no waiting for their name to appear, just stillness. It feels strange. Because for so long, your mood depended on someone else's response. But today, something is different. You put the phone down, and that small act feels like control returning to your life. Did you forget about me? The message finally comes. You read it, you don't rush. You don't panic, you don't try to explain yourself, because now you see things clearly. Before, you would have apologized, you would have adjusted, you would have made space for them, even if it meant losing yourself again. But not this time. You reply with honesty, not fear. Not to hurt them, but to respect yourself. Here is something most people don't realize. The moment you stop chasing, you start seeing, you notice the imbalance. You notice how much effort you were giving and how little was coming back. And it doesn't make you angry, it makes you aware. Because awareness is the first step towards self-worth. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. What happens when you finally choose yourself? At first, nothing changes outside. They may not understand. they may pull away, they may even try to come back with the same patterns, but inside, everything shifts. Your decisions become clearer, your emotions become calmer, your standards become stronger, and suddenly you're not afraid of losing people who never truly valued you. You start doing small things differently, you say no without over-explaining, you take time for yourself without guilt, you stop chasing validation. And slowly, you begin to rebuild something you didn't even realize you lost, your self-respect. It doesn't come back all at once. It grows with every choice you make, every boundary you set, every moment you choose peace over approval. There was a time when you felt empty without them. Now you sit alone and feel complete. That's the transformation no one talks about. Not loud, not dramatic, but powerful, because you didn't just move on from a person, you returned to yourself, and that changes how you see everything. Why are you so distant now? They ask. You pause before answering, not because you don't know what to say, but because you finally understand what matters. You're not distant, you're aligned, aligned with your worth, aligned with your values, aligned with what you deserve. And that kind of alignment makes the wrong connections fade naturally. Listen carefully. This part is for you. Yes, you. If you keep choosing others at the cost of yourself, you will always feel empty. If you keep ignoring your inner voice, you will always feel lost. If you keep accepting less, you will never experience what you truly deserve. But the moment you decide, even quietly, even imperfectly, to choose yourself, your life begins to change. You don't need a perfect moment. You don't need full confidence. You don't need permission. All you need is one decision, one moment where you say, I matter too, and mean it. Because choosing yourself is not selfish, it's necessary, it's the foundation of every healthy connection you will ever have. And maybe right now, you're still in that place, still confused, still attached, still hoping things will go back to how they were. But let me tell you something, they won't. Because the lesson was never about fixing them, it was about finding yourself. And once you do that, you stop settling, you stop begging, you stop shrinking, you rise quietly, strongly, fully. And this time, you don't lose yourself trying to keep someone else. You finally keep yourself.